Aloha and welcome to your Hawaiian healing reading. This is Kumuwai and I'm here with your daily dose of aloha, and I will be pulling the cards for your past, present, and future. If you are watching this whatever day this is, then this reading is for you. Okay. So we have in the past, we have 7 of lava stones, and that would be the 7 of pentacles. Alright, that's your past position. In your present, we have the 6 of cups. 6 of cups. Alright. And in your future, we have temperance. Temperance. Okay. Looks a lot like balance, doesn't it? Alright. So I'm going to pull some cards to clarify these past, present, and future positions. Oh, here's one. 4 of Wands, which is the 4 of Sticks here in this deck. And we are reading from the Hazel Moon Tarot cards. Information is in the description box. Okay, and we have the Magician. The Magician. Alright. So what about our present situation? So that's our past. What's our present? Let's see. What is our present? Oh, we have the 8 of Sticks, and that is reversed. 8 of Sticks. Reversed. That is the 8 of Wands. Oh, and we have the Queen of Lava Stones, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, Queen of Pentacles. Alright, that's your present position. You can see a story unfolding here. Let's see. What is our future like? What is our future like? What is our future like? So we have the Ace of Sticks, which is the Ace of Wands. And we have the 2 of Swords. Alright, that has to do with communication. Alright. And overall energy, 1 card for overall energy. Whoever's watching this, I'm praying for you. Aloha to everyone. Oh, 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Lava Stones. That's your overall energy, okay? So let's see. I'm going to look at this. Now, it's really promising because I see that there are things in the past that are pulling you through to the future. Okay? I'm going to read the interpretation of the 4 of Pentacles, the 4 of Lava Stones. I'm going to read that as your overall energy. Okay? So, 4 of Lava Stones, what does that mean? I know what it means, but I'd like to read it to you out of the book because I think this is pretty interesting. Alright. The 4 of Lava Stones implies blocked change. Uh-oh. Opposition may come from those who want to maintain the status quo. The blockage may also come from within you. Are you resisting a change that is truly needed? We often cling to the familiar even when we know it is not for the best. The lesson of this card is that control is impossible. We stand in the world as in a great ocean. Who could manage or possess such power? The only way to keep from drowning is to ride the currents. The ocean will support us as long as we swim with the flow. It also represents a person that will not share anything in their life with other people. When assistance is needed, they will turn their back on the situation. So this represents a gift, legacy, inheritance, a greedy person who cannot give, or a love of all materials. Okay, so this is the Four of Lava Stones, the Four of Pentacles. So because it's got these other cards with it, I'm going to look at it as a message about something that you will be inheriting. It doesn't always have to be material, right? It doesn't have to be something that is monetary. It could also be the legacy of knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, um, anything that is of value to you. All right. So, the Seven of Lava Stones. It's a really good card. Seven of Pentacles. All right. And this represents things in the past. When you have this kind of card, and you have these three, right here. The Magician. And you have Four of Sticks, which is the Four of Wands, which is finding your solace, a place of refuge, or things that are adding security to your life. So you have that in your past. You have some good memories to draw upon, and they're helping you to get through. Okay, that's the message I'm getting from this past position, is that you have these happy memories of childhood, at least one happy memory that can really help you through the hard times. Okay, so when it comes to the Magician, all right, this is a Polynesian version of the Magician. All right, he's doing maybe some voodoo, some witchcraft there, but it's not necessarily. It implies that you have the ability to change your situation. All right, and you can draw from the past, and you have these places of refuge within your life, these happy memories and feelings of security. All right, and this is what I see here, and you really can use those reservoirs of love and aloha and happiness to move you forward. What I see here in the present position is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is about leaving the past behind, that things are happy. Memories again. That's why I say that's why I looked at that past. I'm going to read to you the Eight of Sticks, which is the Eight of Wands, all right? And we're going to see exactly what this is all about. Okay, it's not bad. I know exactly what it is, but I'd like to read it to you because it's interesting. So, the Eight of Sticks, which is the Eight of Wands. All right. When this card comes up in a reading, I would interpret it to mean forward movement. Rather, it is spiritual, mental, or physical, depending on its placement and surrounding cards. Forward movement may be a step or two out of pace with the rest of the thought patterns. To me, this is the bowl you over if you don't watch it type of energy. Approach your goals. New ideas are there, but they need swift action. There may be a possible trip by way of air, and love finds its way to you, though advancement in life and work may come too fast for you to handle. So, this card, not necessarily bad, but when it's reversed, it talks about conflict, jealousy, and I see that as a result of the fact that you are using your past to make changes. Not everybody likes when we make changes, you know. There's jealousy, there's conflict, there's family fighting. Because when one person changes, everybody else got to adjust, and they're used to, a lot of times, dysfunction. So if you are in a dysfunctional situation in your family, this is the card that, or in any situation. Maybe it's a relationship at work. It's because of jealousy. It's because of the other person doesn't see your worth. But you do. So that's what this Queen of Lava Stones tells us, alright? She tells us that she's on solid ground. She's a provider. So not to worry. If you're a female right now, you have opposition. There's some conflict. But remain in your power. And remember, the power is often more effective when it's soft power. Okay? Soft power is far more effective. And I think that the world now is moving into a period where we all are coming into either a very soft power or a very harsh power. And I do believe that a lot of women right now need to tap into their soft power, their female energy, the energy that comes, that mana that comes from being pono and being part of that mind, body, spirit connection, but not having to lord it over other people and give them directions all the time. We have to be soft. We have to know how to handle those who are not very easy to work with. Okay, I believe that soft power is a very good strategy for many people. I tell you how you can have soft power. So that would be mana, right? Power, mana. That is the spiritual energy that we gain from a kua up above, and then we use it in our life to either heal or serve others, okay? And to be who we are. So if we remember that we are the Queen of Lava Stones, of Pentacles, right? If we remember who we are, we can have that soft power. In Hawaii, we believe it comes from Hina, Mahina, the moon, the mother of all. And here she is in this picture. I like this. This is pretty cute. She's standing on a solid rock, a pohaku. And she has a little mo'o there, a little lizard at her feet. She has this lei. And you know what that tells us? That tells us that this woman is fully in her power. She's offering a lei. She's standing on solid ground. She has control over the environment around her. And nothing can shake her. So that's who you are now. Even amidst the people who are hating on you or doubting you, you have that soft power. So you don't need to fight. You don't need to fight back. I've been there. I know. A lot of us want to fight back. A lot of us want to rise to the level of anxiety that the other person brings out in us, right? So the best thing to do when someone is either abusive to you or mistreating you is not, in soft power mentality, it's not to fight back on their level, but to fight back as if you're the moon looking down upon them, shining your light. And if they don't listen or they don't want to, yield, then the waves will hit them, right? Because the moon controls the waves. And we don't have to worry because things will work out. Stand in your power. You don't have to budge, but you also don't have to let someone bait you into an argument, right? Or into escalation, into any kind of situation where you're out of control, emotionally out of control. All right, so we don't want that. And a lot of times when we improve upon ourselves, we're going to have a lot of people around us that aren't used to it, and they either will be jealous or they'll not understand. Okay, and we don't need that. We really don't. So that's why we have to continue to be in this queen mode. Okay, So here we are. What did I just say? Temperance. So this temperance card, this comes up to show us that we need balance in our life, okay? We need balance in our emotions. Now, I forgot to mention in this card, you see the two cups she's holding. She's pouring them out. And she's looking at the sun. And the sun is setting. Our emotions, excuse me, our emotions are important. A lot of our emotions are tied to the moon, even though people probably don't understand that at all. But like the tides, people's emotions can be affected by the moon, and also affected by our lack of self-esteem or our lack of ability to cope with unhappy situations or unpleasant things. So oftentimes when we don't have control over our emotions, we look kind of unbalanced, right? And our cups are overflowing when we have this unbalance. But what this shows us, though, is that she's letting out all her emotions, okay? And she wants to just, sometimes you gotta pour it out, you gotta let it out in order to have balance. You have two cups, and one is too heavy, right? So you have too much on one side or too much on the other. You're trying to make all of this balance, right? You're spending too much time focusing on something negative instead of focusing on something positive. So here you are, right? Too much positive and you're not realistic. Too much negative and you're not productive, okay? So if you have too much grief or too much anger or too much of these negatives, a good thing to do is to get back in balance by releasing it. So that's what this card is saying, to release that and to be temperate. Release it as in a healthy way, okay? So the card shows us that she's in the ocean and she's releasing these cups, these emotions in a very healthy way, releasing it to her higher spirit, to the divine, to heaven, lifting her arms up and just releasing it. That's what we need to do. We can't hold on to these negative emotions because it's not healthy. It's not good for our mind, our body, or our spirit to hang on to anger. I know. I still have anger issues that I have to work on, but I am getting better. And that's all we can do, right? Is to get better at all of these things that we have to deal with nowadays. And it doesn't get easier when you have environmental hindrances such as a quarantine, a lockdown. You can't go to work. You have to be face to face with a lot of your own demons or your own thoughts that are not always balanced. We all get unbalanced at times. We all do. This is not about any kind of dysfunction in a personality. This is just pure life. Okay? So we need to be temperate, and that is called pono, balanced. So when something happens, we're not like, think too hard about it. Someone hits your car, you're in traffic. Nowadays, probably not. This is just a scenario. Someone hit your car in traffic, and you have two choices, right? To get angry or to figure out what to do. Okay? So in our response, sometimes people go too far into the negative response and go, what the heck? Da, 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 da. You hit my car. What's wrong with you? You're so dumb. And they want to burst out in anger and their emotions, okay? And that's not healthy. So Temperance says, okay, you're gonna get a little upset. That's normal, right? Then you take your deep breath and then you move forward and you say, okay, this positive, okay, be logical. What can I do now? Okay, now that I'm through being a little bit upset and angry, of course, sometimes our emotions are so overwhelming that we can't think logically, all right, while we're in the moment. But it's a good practice in the small things to practice our responses and not in anger, okay? So like sometimes there's too many responses in anger, you know? So, like someone steps on your toe and you're just like off the Richter scale. You don't need to be like that. So there are people out there who I'm talking to right now that their anger is off the charts, and it doesn't have to be that way, okay? Sometimes a small thing can turn into a huge thing, and we don't want to go that way. So the Ace of Wands, same thing. And the Two of Swords. Okay, these two together. Same thing. Two of Swords, Ace of Wands, which is the Ace of Sticks. You see that whale in there with the glow of lava in the back. And the Two of Swords with that ray of hope, rainbow. Okay, I love rainbows. Rainbow in Hawaiian is Waianue Nue. Waianue Nue, which means the colorful water. Anyways, the legend of the rainbow, right, in biblical philosophy is that the rainbow is a ray of hope, right? And in the Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, this is not only about communication, but it's about just finding a way to keep that hope alive, even in conflict, okay? So, the reason why I say this is because in this reading right here, I can see that there is conflict, yet there is something happening where whoever's watching this, there is something happening that you need to communicate clearly about. A blockage, something. And that you don't have to worry about what you're communicating, because it's going to be very successful. The Ace of Wands, it's a very productive card. I like that word, productive, okay? Because productive means that the communication with this Two of Swords, that communication component of your personal issues has to be a little bit more solid. But there is hope. There is hope. And even though there's blocked change right now, okay, this Four of Pentacles, Four of Lava Stones means not only is there blocked change, but there's also, perhaps because of jealousy and because you are shining so bright. Like seriously, if someone shines, think about it. When you shine, you're going to have various responses from your friends and family. Some people will be very happy for you. Others will see how horrible you are, and you're just, how could you even succeed? That's not supposed to happen. Your enemies don't want you to succeed. Our enemies want to sit around and talk about us and drink champagne or wine or whatever they do and just, curse us behind our backs. It's okay, right? Because we are queens. And they can't block us forever. Okay? They just can't. It's not going to happen. I claim that. I'm going to draw one more card. I feel like, oh, awesome. One more card is this. Oh, and we got two more cards. So let's see. My Ka'i. Alright. Kind of like this. To wrap up this part of the reading from the Hawaiian Tarot cards, we got the High Priestess. Look at her. Another moon goddess. Okay, you're not only the queen of lava stones, which could be a male thing too, you know. It means that you are very solid, okay, and a good provider. But this card right here, the High Priestess, look at her. She's awesome. She's sitting there in the position of giving her offering to Mahina. And you know, the High Priestess in this deck represents that that woman that's full of aloha, that is bringing forth the cultural traditions of that very sacred part of our culture, and that is the what the kahuna do, and that is to provide this connection between the divine and the human, the divine and the earthly. Anolani, anohonua. Okay, what is in heaven is on earth. All right. So the High Priestess also tells me, because you know you have this queen and this High Priestess. You have two queens in your reading, in fact, because one queen and a High Priestess. So it's two very significant expressions of the divine female, okay, and divine feminine, however you want to say it. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Lava Stones. All right. You see right there, you see those stones and that mountain. And then there's the moon again. These cards are beautiful. I love them. So let me read to you that one, because I like the this is a good card when it comes to health, because this means that you are taking care of your health. But let's see what it says in the book, because I like the some of the explanations. All right. So the Nine of Lava Stones represents the caution and ability to provide the situation and yourself with the security necessary to accomplish what is in your best interest. I like that already. Overall card, right? So you want to promote yourself and or form a new partnership. A situation will arrive that will lure, entice, or beckon you. Your wish for a union will soon be fulfilled. There will be abundance. You need to be self-reliant, independent, and free. Learn about your body and how Mother Nature provides all that is needed. Treat your health as your greatest wealth. That's a good message for today, right? Nothing's more important than your health. You cannot buy some things. You can buy better health care, but you can't buy life and death. You cannot tell the doctor, keep me alive, if he can't. Life and death is in the hands of the divine. Alright, so prudence, safety, success, accomplishment, material success, and a love of nature. So what this tells me, because it's coming up with such a nice reading, except for the fact that there's some kind of negative thing here, okay? Something's blocking. I believe that block has to do with your mental health, and with those, not only your mental health, but also your emotional health, and someone who is blocking your progress. Dysfunction is not just about one person. When someone is either abusive or domineering or anything like that, whatever the case may be, those personality traits and behavioral dysfunctions don't always only affect that individual and their victim. It affects everyone around them. So sometimes abuse can come from family members or others who are really not even our spouse. It can come from people wanting to block our growth. And I'm not saying that's necessarily abusive, but it can turn abusive if someone is overly controlling, and we have to watch that. But we also have to be aware of how other people are trying to control us with their constant conflict. You know, there are people sometimes in our life that are just full of conflict, and they don't want to give things up. And it's unhealthy. But it's okay, because if we stay in our truth, treat our health as our greatest wealth, alright? Continue to stand on solid ground and be a very good provider for our families, alright? And for our friends that are in need, be this person, okay, like Mahina, the motherly person of all that provider, that caring person, that caregiver, okay? And then you have, treat your wealth as your greatest, health as your greatest wealth. And then you have, of course, the high priestess. And look at her. This is beautiful. You know why? I really wanted to show it to you because this card is like an admission that even though she's a high priestess, even though we might rise to a level of success, we still have to be humble, and we still have to give thanks. Get down on our knees and thank the divine above. Be thankful for everything that we have. As much knowledge as we have, we still are really not very smart in a lot of ways. I mean, we have to admit that, and we have to understand that, and we have to acknowledge it by getting down on our knees once in a while and thanking God, or thanking whoever you thank. I'm not telling you who to thank, but we need to be thankful for the things that we have, and thankful for our health. You know, that we are still alive today, watching videos on YouTube, and you know, trying to help each other out in any way we can. And you know, soon things will turn around. You know, right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of April 2020, and it doesn't look like a lot of things are going to change. But we have the power to change that. That's why we got this card right here, the Magician, okay? We don't have to depend on someone else to change our lives. We can be that magician. We can be that person who makes that change, right? We can stir it up and make that change. And we can draw from the mana from the past, from the things that we remember in our lives that give us great mana. Alright, so don't allow other people to block you, to suck your mana, okay? Your energy. Just remember, it's unhealthy, and we want to protect our health. So, what are the messages from our angels? Ha! Ask your angels. Aw, really? Ask your angels. Sitting down on our knees. We don't look down on angels to ask for help. We get down on our knees and we are humble. Humble. This is about humility. It's not about angels as much. And it talks about our angels, and we in Hawaii know that our angels are actually our ancestors that have passed, and that they are still there to take care of us. So that's what we believe. Angel in Hawaiian is Anela. I love that name. That is the name of some women, and I know one who's very much like an angel, like an earth angel, Anela Honua. All right. Oh, hey. Opportunity. All right. Look at that. There's our temperance card again. Look at that. Except she's looking at us now. Her back is not turned. She's not shamed. She has temperance. She's let go of all those feelings, and now the opportunities are coming. See, you cannot. It's impossible to get more opportunity when your hands are full, especially when they're full of stuff that you shouldn't be full of, okay? Like negative energy, anger, all of that. All right. One more for our future. Oh, one more for our future. Wow, this one really wanted to come up. All right, so our third card for the future is within the next few months. Look at that. This is a bridge leading to riding into the sunset. And there's our rainbow again. Rainbow of hope. Rainbow of hope. The Waianui Nui of hope. So, if you ask your angels, if you humble yourself to ask your angels or to ask the divine for help or to be thankful, the opportunities will come. And that's going to happen within the next few months. All right? Interesting. Ask your angels. Oh. And we have a card already coming out from this deck. All right. KUAKINO, transforming your body. This is perfect. Shapeshifting, transforming your body. KUAKINO. Kua means back. All right. Or this one, yeah, kua, yeah, and kino is your body. So let's see what it has to say. I might be wrong about that kua because there's many different interpretations of the Hawaiian language. So let's see what this card has to say, okay? All right. Shape-shifting is the ability to transform your energetic field into the vibrating quality of an animal, other being or element. This common practice among indigenous shamans was used for the purpose of healing and helping others. Shape-shifting can support you to embody power, softness, strength, fluidity, or other qualities to help you balance how you interact with life. My intention is to learn from all of nature and to allow myself to shape-shift when I need qualities that are not yet a part of my expression. KUAKINO. All right. Shape-shifting. So that means to transform your body. It means to do something to, what I am seeing in this reading is that it has to do with getting rid of the old and transforming into the new. All right, and that happens within your body as well. It's not about losing weight and eating right and all this kind of stuff that everybody says, get exercise or whatever. It's not just about that. It's about putting your body down as a priority in your life, all right? I think this is a good time for us to refocus and reprioritize on what we really think is important. I mean, everybody says that, right? Everything's important. But our health, since when did you really realize that your health is your greatest wealth, right? When did you realize that? And then to have this this card about shape-shifting and how we can change that. Now listen. There's a lot of people that when they get sick, their mind turns to panic. So that mind, body, spirit connection, and that past, present, and future needs to be addressed, okay? So if we feel that we're fearful, if we feel fear in our hearts, we can use this method to pull from our past, which not our past, the part of our past that is unhappy or unpleasant, but the parts that we can remember. There's in every life something that we can draw from that will bring us strength and take us through the next level of our journey, the next steps. And that's what shape-shifting is all about. It's about transforming from a victim to an advocate, from a victim to someone who is healed and helps others to heal. A transformation, from being on the bottom to the top. So that's happening a lot today, where we're seeing that those on the bottom are really so much more important than we thought. And perhaps those on the top, probably not as much. No judgment there. However, this is what I feel is that this message for tonight is, although we have blockages in our life, especially when it comes to our health, we have the power to transform that. Not necessarily the power to heal. We have the power to transform that, okay? Which means that we have to do some things that will trigger better healthy habits and healthy mindsets, okay? Being temperate and letting our emotions go in the right place, and also responding to things with a balanced view. So don't fear what's going on in your life today. Things will be okay. You can shape shift, you can change who you are at any time. It may take a little time, but it can happen, right? So with that, I would like to tell all of our priests and priestesses out there, you beautiful people who are about to have an opportunity within the next few months. We all will. You just have to be there to recognize it and be maka'ala, aware of what's going on, okay? So, with that, I will say ahuiho until we meet again. This has been your daily dose of aloha with Kumu Vai on the Aloha Consultants channel. Ahuiho.